Hello, my name is Darkmoondoll, and today is going to be art and creativity, Art Talk. So, Art Talk is a show where I share with you the creations that I create in order to inspire you to create your own art. And I think that art therapy is much needed all over the world. So many people have been trying to heal from a lot of traumas that they've experienced in their life, and they found art to be very therapeutic. And I'm one of those people. So, yeah, today what I wanted to do was just show you how I make my, I don't know, I'm not going to be able to do the whole thing, but give you like part one of how I make my keychain dolls. So, here's an example of one I've been working on. And it's like a, take the thread off of this. It's a snowman, like Santa, or snowman or snow woman, candy cane shaman, like witch doll. And as you can see, it's all hand embroidered, hand sewn, and I'm still working on it. I'm almost done with it. I just need to finish the top. And when I'm finished with it, I'll put a jump ring and then a keychain on top. And then it becomes a doll keychain. If you want to see examples of my other doll keychain, my keychain dolls, you can check out my Etsy shop, which is www.darkmoondoll.etsy.com. And I have a whole bunch of fabric doll keychains on my shop. So, yeah. And so let me show you the basics of how I do this. You can make a doll of anything. You can make a snowman, you can make a tribal shaman, you can do all kinds of different things. I use recycled fabrics. Here's some recycled fabric that I have. It's kind of like a polyester, somewhat cotton blend, and it's really stretchy. And I got a ton of this fabric. I didn't want to make, oh well. Let me put this back up. I didn't want to make, what was I saying? I didn't want to make, something that, I don't know, I just wanted to make something different that was a little bit festive, you know? So, and that's why I decided to just go with the snowman slash snow woman motif. So basically what I'm going to do is I'm going to cut out three scraps of fabric so that I can make the body. The body, if you can't see underneath there, it's three rounded fabric beads that I connected together, fabric beads. So I'm going to need 3 strips of fabric to make those beads to form the foundation of the body. So here we go. We're just going to cut right now. I hope you guys are having a good day, a good morning, good afternoon, good evening. This is a really nice project that you can do with your family and friends if you want it to for the holiday. I celebrate winter solstice. And I think that it's a time of the year where everybody is feeling really like they want to talk to each other, and, well, not all the time, but like if you haven't seen certain people in a long time, it seems like around this season, people will want to get together and catch up on, whatever, That's some people, in some people's cases. I don't know if it's yours too. I like what the winter solstice brings about. It's the start. Some people consider winter solstice to be the true start of the new year, and not January 1st. So that's 2 scraps of fabric. I need 1 more scrap. You can make these bigger, then they won't be keychains, but you can make it into a ornament, a Christmas ornament if you wanted to. I was kind of thinking of changing this into an ornament in case people have a tree in their house and they want to decorate it with one of these festive dolls. So there we go. So that's 3 strips of fabric, approximately. Let's put the rest right here. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to measure out some thread, and I've got this kind of the same color thread for the body. That way it doesn't stand out too much because don't need it to. Hand sewing is a really good skill to learn, really. Use this needle off of this project here, put you right there. It really is. I mean, what if your sewing machine stops working? What do? You know? So yeah, I just want to remind you that if my camera on my phone runs out and the video is shortened, I will do another part to this video because I'm not sure how much energy I have left on my phone. But yeah, I think we're doing okay so far. So I'm going to make the first part of, you know when you make a snowman, how there's 3 parts to the body, 3 circles. That's what I'm making right now. So going to be 3 fabric beads. I'm just folding it over like this. Like that. And then I'm going to kind of squish it together while I put the needle through. Like this. There. I don't know if you can see what I'm doing. But you're basically forming it into a ball as best you can. So, yeah. I've got scraps of fabric all over me. Oh, well. Get a little messy. Yeah, I'm enjoying making these little fabric dolls. For a while, I was just making the little dolls and not attaching anything onto them, like to make them into a... say a keychain or anything like that, or ornament. And I started getting more ideas, thinking about, wow, how can you make it a little bit more like not just a piece of artwork, but something you can actually use as well. And people would call that functional art. So yeah, let me have something to drink some of my tea, and drip some on my leg. Okay, almost got this done. These dolls take a long time to make. I don't whip them up overnight. There's no way. A lot of it because I'm sewing, as you can see, hand sewing it. So it takes a lot of time and attention to do, but it's something that's calming, and it can help relieve stress, bring down your blood pressure if you're going to the doctor and they're telling you have high blood pressure. This is the kind of thing that can lower your high blood pressure, because you're just looking at what it is you're doing. You're not worrying about the bills, the rent, you know, all this other stuff that everybody worries about 9 to 5. So there we go. So we've got one part of the body, which would be, who knows, maybe the head. So that's one part of it, and that's how it's stitched on the back. And so we take the next scrap of fabric and do the same thing. Shape it into a ball. First I gotta rethread my needle. It would be cool if you guys were working along with me. You don't have to, but it would be interesting to find out how many of you guys were sitting here making your own little fabric dolls while I'm making one. That would be so cool. So what do the holidays mean to you all? I'm wondering. I've asked this question probably just about every year on my channel, and I get different replies when I ask that question. Some people think of it, this time of the year, as a time where, you know, you get time off from school, you get time off from your job, and you can catch up with your family members. And some people are really into the religious aspect of Christmas. Some people are more apt to celebrating as the special holiday called winter solstice. So it depends on who you are. I like the changing of the seasons. I got to admit that the fall and winter kind of crept up on me unexpectedly. I felt like, I guess because I was really feeling the summer. Although here in California, it was a very hot summer. There were some record highs here, over 109. I remember one day distinctively. It was a very hot day. Somehow I was able to keep cool. Just keep drinking really cool liquids and good to go. Just like vice versa the other way around for the winter and fall season. You just drink plenty of hot or warm liquids, and that could help. I drink lots of tea during the winter. I drink tea all year round, actually, but yeah. So, okay, we've got the second circle or ball, snowball for his or her body. If you make this smaller and a smaller version, you can make them into earrings if you wanted to go that festive. Yeah, I've got a lot of earring attachments, so I did tell you guys I was going to work on that, and I am, so don't be surprised if you look on my shop and see some snowman earrings, shaman snowman earrings, or witch snow women, or something like that. Okay, so that's the third one I've got. This one's a little bit bigger. Maybe I'll have that one at the bottom, because usually the last snowball that is used to make a snow woman or man is like the biggest one. I've noticed that. I grew up in, when I was a kid, all the way up till I was 14, I lived in Illinois. Lived in Chicago Heights, lived in a place called Park Forest South, and they changed it to University Park. But anyway, I lived in Illinois for a long time, and I got a chance to enjoy the snow. I got a chance to walk in the snow to school, and also to make my own snowmen and snow women or whatever. I remember the joy of that season. Whether or not I was going to get anything good for Christmas was, who is anybody's guess back then for me. But what was really special about that time was the snow. I loved the snow. It was really fun. As an adult, I don't know if I would enjoy it as much, commuting back and forth through it, especially if, I don't know, just transportation, public transportation is rough when you're dealing with that kind of weather, When I was a kid, actually, when I was about 14, and me, my mother, and my brother, we moved to East Chicago Heights, and we experienced some really cold winters there. And East Chicago Heights is ghetto, if you didn't know that. It's like a war-torn country. It's really bad. It probably still is. But I really love the snow. But when I moved there, I didn't really like the snow as much because I was commuting by bus all the time, and, having to deal with waiting for a bus, missing a bus when it was snowing and cold, which you miss your bus, you're going to have to just stay there and wait for the next one. And so on. So yeah, it wasn't very pleasant for me, at least, in the winters. But the winters where I was a little girl making snowmen, and snowballs, that was more fun. Those are the memories I take from this kind of season, from this time period when it starts to get cold and it's the winter, and I start to get a little nostalgic, and I like candy canes, or like the fun stuff about this season that comes out, But yeah, most people just think of it as a time to get together with loved ones, or spend time with loved ones, and to be appreciative for what you got. Some people will say, oh, that's Thanksgiving. I don't really get into the whole Thanksgiving thing because I don't feel like that's a holiday for me worth celebrating. I have a Native American ancestry within me. My mom's mom, my grandma, was full-blooded Native American, and on my dad's side, my great-grandmother's was full-on Native American. So I have that. I've got the African going through me, and Jewish. Well, this is the story that my grandfather, who I've never met on my mom's side, was a white Jewish guy. So I've never met him. So I guess that's a part of my ancestry. That's a part of what made me, you know. So yeah, okay. So there's nice little stories in between here. Okay, let's put this on my pin cushion here. So here's the other ball there. So what we're gonna do is attach all three of these balls of these fabric beads. You can call them like fabric beads. But we're gonna attach those together, sew them together to create a snowman. So here we go. Yeah, what happened during Thanksgiving, this whole Thanksgiving holiday, I can't get behind it because a lot of Native Americans were killed and raped and their land was taken from them. But this holiday, for a long time, people haven't really understood what it was about, really. They just understood what they were taught in school about it. So I'm going to connect two together first. And then I'll come back and connect the last one on the bottom because that'll be the biggest one. So I'm just sewing it together at their ends, putting their ends together and sewing them together. As I've said before, if you've never sewn anything by hand or even by machine or both, I have some videos that you can check out on how to sew, just basic sewing tips. How to thread a needle and basic stitches that you can do if you want to learn how to sew by hand. It's not hard to learn how to sew by hand. It just takes patience and practice, like with anything else in life, you know? For real. So yeah, it's coming along, getting that on there. You could even make little people. I've got, I wish I would have brought that bag in here, but I've got a bag of little dolls, miniature dolls that I've made of keychains. Like I said, is on my Etsy shop, but I have them all bagged up, and maybe I'll show them to you soon again, so you'll know exactly what I'm talking about. But like I said, check out my Etsy shop, and you can see the little keychain dolls I have for sale, and I also have some of them in a set, so you could buy them in a set for like a gift for someone or someone's. Yeah, pretty cool. I decided to do that, to sell some in a set, some that look like they go together. A lot of times when I'm making these dolls, it's all stream of consciousness. When I'm relaxed, these ideas come to me. And when I was making this, I thought, the other one, I was thinking snowman or snow woman. Hey, put this sweater around, it's like a poncho. Put some, embroider some candy canes on here. My mind started to just explore all kinds of ideas, fun ideas. So art is about having fun for me. As well as being therapeutic, it's also very fun. And it's a great activity to participate in, especially during this time of season when it starts to get cold and rainy outside and we're indoors a little bit more, you know, staying dry. So let me grab some more tea and I can continue. I'll show you what I've got so far. Let's turn this around. All right. And this is what I did while I've been talking to you. I sewed these two ends together. See, it fell. It's all right. I sewed these two ends together, so now that's how it looks. Just like that. There. Now you can see it. There. Now I'm going to add the bottom part of the body for the snowman. Like I say, you can make it into a snow woman. I already brought thread out. You can make it into a snow woman if you want. How would you do that? You can add hair to it. I don't know. Just get creative. This one that I made, this one right here, It could be any gender, really. It could be snowman, snow woman, whatever, see? But yeah. So, yeah, just have fun with it and go with where your creativity leads you, you know? So many people are afraid to be creative and to be daring. They get an idea in their head and they go, oh, that's too ridiculous. People are going to laugh at me if I make something like that. Forget that. Are you an adult? Are you creating art for yourself? Or are you creating art for someone who's always going to disapprove of you? You know, think of it that way. Seriously. So I'm going to put the last part on there. The last little ball on there. Snowball. Little fabric snowball. This would definitely be a good gift you can give to a friend or a family member. You don't have to wait for the holidays to give somebody a gift either. Seriously, if you see something and you're like, oh, this person would like this, get it, don't wait. A lot of times you wait, you come back to go get it and it's gone. It's happened to me a few times in my life. So yes, it's turning out really cool. And it's a simple cloth doll. I can get into more intricate dolls that I do that are small, but you can make these cloth dolls as simple or as complex as you want. I made this three-legged snake charmer keychain doll. Now that's intricate. Each foot had embroidered shoes on it. There was embroidered snake around the snake charmer's shoulders. So yeah, I really went to town on that one. But I just thought I'd give you an example of something a little bit more simple. Just so you can ease your way into it. And yeah, be creative and have fun with it. Yours doesn't have to look like mine. You can make your snowman red. You can make it blue. You don't have to make it white, So, but watch out for the yellow snow. Anyway, so yeah, it's coming along. You could do all kinds of things. Like you could tie-dye it if you wanted to. Recently, we have some, I think it's called pokeroot or pokeweed growing in the backyard, and that's because the birds that have been coming back there, they've been eating those berries that are on there, and they poop in there, and then the seeds land and they plant themselves immediately. So we've got those kind of the pokeweed. I think it's pokeweed or pokeroot, but anyway, I think it's pokeweed. But what ended up happening is we could take that off of there, the berries off of there, and use it for dye, and it'll be like a dark purple color. So I think I may want to experiment with that. And that's what you can do with your fabrics. If you don't like the look of the fabrics, you want to experiment with it, you can use natural dyes on them. I've tie-dyed fabrics, little pieces of fabric all the time for my dolls. If I wanted to add a little something different, So yeah, I may experiment with that and show you guys that on this channel. So you can look forward to that. Not sure when, but let me know if you're interested in watching that. So this whole idea for doing a tutorial on how to make a cloth keychain doll was brought to me by a subscriber who's watching my show. So thank you, subscriber. So this is the basics of, let me cut this thread off of here first before I show it to you. So I'm going to show you here. This is the basics of the construction of the snowman. So that's basically with all those ends connected together. You could turn this way. It could be a three-headed doll. Add bodies to it. But yeah, that's the construction of the basic body. So next what I did was I came in and embroidered the eyes and nose and all that kind of stuff onto the doll. And put clothing on it. So, yeah, we can continue with doing a little bit more of that. I've run completely out of black thread, So I'm going to make the eyes red and the nose red and the smile red. So that's what I'll do. That's what happens when I run out of thread colors. I get really experimental, and sometimes that's fun. Sometimes I come out with something that surprises me, you know. Where'd that thread go? That surprised me. Here we go. So yeah, it's a really fun thing to do. If you have children, you can do this project with them, but you want to make sure that that you supervise them, because this is a sharp needle, you know, and scissors involved. So once they get the hang of using a needle and sharp scissors, they realize that you have to be really careful. Even adults. I mean, I prick my fingertips several times if I'm not paying attention. So really got to pay attention to what you're doing. But yeah, it's a fun thing to do. Yeah, the full size. If I were to make this full size doll size, this would take quite a while to do. And I do make full size cloth dolls, if you were wondering. I did do a tutorial on how to make full size cloth dolls. So right now what I'm doing is I'm embroidering the eyes, one of the eyes on there. So like I said, you can make it as simple or as detailed as you want. You don't have to do all the stuff that I'm doing to it. You can keep it as simple as this is a snowman. Make the eyes, make some buttons on it. Eyes, nose, mouth, buttons on it, and done if you want it. I just wanted to go a little bit more like with a hat and a poncho. I mean, who has a poncho, a black poncho, sweater-like poncho with hand-embroidered candy canes on it? I would love to wear something like that. If you do, let me know. Send pictures. Yeah, it's fun to create art, especially during this time of season when people experience seasonal depression, and when people are going through some really changes in their lives. So some people are going through menopause, the first stages of menopause, and so they may be feeling a lot of stress, a lot of different emotions at this time. So doing things like this may be very healing and very spiritual. Art's very spiritual for me. It really is, because I tap into my higher self when I'm creating. Even silly things like this. I mean, it's like, this is my higher self. Yeah, it's my higher self. It's my higher self saying to have some fun and create something that fills my heart with joy and love and laughter, you know, and realize that there's only so many things that you can do to control situations in your life. Outside of your life, I mean, outside of your world and what's going on, what other people are doing, we have no control over that. We just have control over what we do and how we react to other people and what they do. So I got one eye on this one. So there we go. There's one eye on there. I love embroidery. And I bet if you take it up and start doing it, you're going to love it too. I have a sister that I don't know if she still does, I haven't seen her in a while, but she used to do embroidery, and her embroidery was beautiful. Nice work. She did like a whole scene and stuff with dogs in it and everything. She was always really good at sewing, just in general. She sewed on a sewing machine. She could make clothing. She could hem clothing. Talented. So yeah, that inspired me at a young age, as far as sewing goes. How gifted she was with sewing. So yeah. This is coming along. With the red eyes, it looks funny. Kind of making it look like it's part like those candy mints type vibe. Yeah, it's fun to have fun with your art. Not all of my art is happy-go-lucky. Some of it can be very intense looking, but that's because I'm expressing a different mood with each piece of artwork. So some people don't like to create artwork when they're in a bad mood or they're depressed or, those kind of emotions are flowing through them. For me, it's healthy for me to create art because I end up doing something more constructive instead of sabotaging myself and creating dramas, when I'm angry or depressed. It's best for me to express my emotions in some sort of way. And if I can't express them in words, then I can express them through my art. And I don't think there's anything wrong with that. You're not hurting anyone. Least of all, you're not hurting yourself. You're helping yourself. And a lot of the art that I create when I'm in those kind of moods, I look back at them and it gives me some understanding of what's going on within my mind, and how I'm feeling. And it's like me reaching out to myself, my higher self, saying, okay, that's what's going on with you. So, so here we go. I've got the eyes done. Here's the eyes. I'll get it close here. There's the eyes on that one. So now I'm going to do the nose. I'm going to make it kind of like a sideways, like make it look like it's a carrot. You know how they do the sideways triangle type of deal? So that's what I'm going to do right now. You could also, if you want to be really precise about where you put the features of the face on to the snowman's face, or in where you put the buttons and all that details. If you want it, you could draw it out in a felt tip Sharpie, fine point, so that you can map it out first if you're not secure with just doing it like this, like I'm doing it, free-forming it. So, yeah. There you go. You can make it look however you want. It doesn't have to be exactly like mine, like I've said. But so that it expresses who you are and not anyone else. So here's the nose. I can make the nose a little bit thicker. This is how it looks so far. And now I'm going to do, I'll show you like how I have the little dots for a mouth on this one. That's what I'm going to do with this one. Only it's going to be red instead of black. Yeah, I got to buy some more red thread, definitely. I like to buy my thread in bulk, but for some reason I didn't get any black in bulk, because black, red, and white are the colors I use the most, I've noticed. Second most used color that I use, I'd say, is yellow. So I use all colors, but what I'd really ultimately like to get is a ton of colors with this size, you know what I mean? Because I can really go through some thread. That's for sure. Okay, so now I'm going to put the smile on there, the little circles. So yeah, you can, like I said, you can draw on here the shape of the circles for the eyes and the shape for the nose using a felt tip Sharpie pen that maps it out. I usually use the felt tip Sharpie pen if I'm doing something that's a lot more detailed, like if I'm going to embroider, say, a star, that requires more time and attention. If I'm going to embroider, say, a pyramid with an all-seeing eye in it, it's going to take a lot more time and attention, and I'd want to get it just right because it's a small area that I'm working in, that I'm embroidering. So drawing it out, if it's a more intricate design, is a very good idea. So yeah. Wow, we're at the 34-minute mark and we're doing pretty good. Like I said, if this cuts out, if my battery starts to go low, I will do a part 2 of this. I will post it as soon as I can. So I hope you're enjoying this, and I hope this does inspire you. Yeah, if I do the part 2, I'll definitely come back and show you some other cloth cloth doll keychains that I've done because I've got a bunch on my shop. So these are fun to make, very much. I mean, after I'm done with them, it's like, wow. Never imagined I'd work on a miniature level because I remember people really liking my full-size dolls, cloth dolls, but saying that they couldn't afford them. And if I would make like a miniature version of them. So I started working on that and actually was able to make them. I made, like I said, I made that one that had 3 legs. It was a snake charmer. I've made one that someone called a huntsman because it looked like a snowman huntsman, and it had like a club in its hand and everything. It looked all tough. And it was all hand embroidered, and it was a keychain. So I've made like something that looks like a gremlin keychain. I've made a grandma holding a baby keychain. So these ideas just come to me and I just start making them. And people have seemed to have liked them. I've sold quite a bit of them on my shop, my Etsy shop. But what I'm gonna do is explore also, like I've been talking about. I just haven't made the time to transfer to actually put some merchandise up there. But I do have a big cartel, and it's under the name Darkmoondoll. I just need to put some things up there. What I want to start off with is just some small things like the keychain dolls. I probably would try and see what happens with them there. So I just want to not just stay exclusively with Etsy. I think the one thing that kind of deterred me from putting stuff up on Big Cartel was not Big Cartel, well, per se itself, but yes. I was having a hard time figuring out how to resize the photos that I was putting on so I can post listings of my stuff that I want to sell. But they were saying that I have to resize the photos a certain way, and I was trying to, but it wasn't working. So I'm going to play around with that. And when I do start getting things up on Big Cartel, I'll let you guys know about that too. Yeah. So yeah, I've been a busy little bee. Very much so, yeah. And I need to send off something to my patron. I hope she's watching. If she's not, if you are, I'm sorry I've delayed. I need to send off something for you for this month, and be doing that soon. So I'll look forward to that. So yeah, this is coming along. This looks really cool. I was gonna do something similar to this because I couldn't find any black thread at the time, but then all of a sudden I found a tiny bit of black thread, enough to put on to this doll. So so yeah, I'm not sure if I want to just leave it at 3. You know how in Snowman they use coal? Sometimes they'll use coal for the eyes and the smile. So making this look like red hot coals. Oh shoot, that's gonna really make this snowman melt. Yeah, a long time ago, when I was in high school, I made this greeting card, and it was like a conjoined twin on the cover of the greeting card, and they're wearing a shared winter coat. And then they said it said whose idea was to send Frosty to California, and then the inside of the card it shows Frosty the snowman, but he's melting. And you know the joke, stay cool, don't melt. Yeah, I might try to recreate that card again because it got damaged through the years, but that was my first introduction into making greeting cards. I would make things that were funny, like comedic greeting cards, because it's fun. Yeah, so let's cut a little bit of that thread off of the nose there. We should be okay. Let's see. It's starting to get dark in here. It's a time change. You guys set your clocks back, fall back, fall back, fall back. All right. I think I'm cutting too much, huh? Okay, so I'll show you right here. But that's how that's looking so far. And then what I probably going to do is I might just put, I could just put 2 big buttons or 3 buttons on the chest part. So that's what I'm going to do. And it's already at the 40-minute mark. See, I told you guys. Oh yeah, here we go. It's fading out. So, okay. I'm going to have to recharge my battery. But this is how we got so far. Isn't that cute? And so on part 2, I'm going to show you how I add clothing on it to look, you know, give it some style like this. With a hand-embroidered poncho this one has. And has little leather boots. But yeah, I'm going to show you how to make it look like that. Attach the jump ring and keychain on there. So thank you so much for joining me today for today's show, for Art Talk and the tutorial on how to make keychain fabric dolls. All this fabric is recycled. It's recycled fabrics, upcycled fabric. So I encourage you to do all of that. Upcycle, recycle your fabrics whenever you can. Yeah, it helps to save this world, save this environment, save Mother Earth. Alrighty, guys. Until next time, I'll see you tomorrow or maybe later on today for part 2. Most likely tomorrow. Thanks for subscribing. Thank you for the likes and shares, and thank you for your kind comments. Leave your comments down below. Let me know what kind of art you're creating for this holiday season, for winter solstice. Alrighty, guys. I will see you soon. Brightest blessings to you all.